My name is Jen Tucker. I'm a Customer Success Manager here at Nearmap. Thank you for joining us for the MapBrowser Master session. You may have joined us for the MapBrowser and You session, where you learned the MapBrowser basics and the user interface and got to know some of the core features. Or perhaps you are already familiar with our MapBrowser tool and you're here to learn more. In this session, we will recap the MapBrowser tools and help you deepen your understanding of the advanced features and functionality and learn how to get more out of MapBrowser. Then my colleague, Ryan Swanson, will go into more detail on the new ImpactResponse functionality. Come on, let's take a look. All right, here I am in MapBrowser. You'll notice that when you first log in, you're in the workspace. We're going to talk about projects here soon. Up at the top, you have your tools, the search functionality. We'll go through all these tools as well. And then you have your base map picker, your timeline picker for the dates. Split view is still here. You have your compass and rotation tools and zooming and location tools. Starting from the top here, we've got the circle feature tool. Click, double click to close. When you are clicked on a feature, you can come over here, remember, and you can change your units on the measurement. Something that's pretty new is that when you go ahead and change your features such as the color, brightness, opacity, the MapBrowser remembers what color you chose. So next time you create that feature, I'm going to go ahead and hit delete. It remembers, I've got to select it, hit delete, and it remembers what settings you had. You have the polygon tool. I can click P on my keyboard and see as a shortcut to bring up the polygon tool. You go back and forth on this building here, or double click to close, change your color, brightness, opacity, units, all of those things. You can also note using text here, you can change the size, color. And for each of the features, you'll see the ellipses here where you can click to duplicate group. So if I were to choose several features by clicking the shift, and now I can right click or choose the ellipses and group them. You'll see they'll show up as a group here in the feature layer and in my workspace. And I can right click to rename. You can also delete or hide over here in the feature layers tool. You can also take advantage of some of the shortcut tools. We talked about how at the top, P for polygon, R for rectangle, and so on. We also now have Control Z and Control Y for undo and redo. Say I came in and I clicked on this polygon, changed it. Whoops, I didn't want to do that. Control Z to undo. Maybe I did. Control Y to redo. You can also duplicate. If you click on a feature, Control D to duplicate, goes right on top. You can move it wherever you need to. While it's selected, hit delete. So I mentioned that we already have the time slider. That's in here. You can view the progress of construction, for example. You can choose the dates. They're now sorted by year and month. Makes it nice and easy to find and choose the right time frame that you're looking for. The line tool has a cool new feature. Say you wanted to measure the length construction area. Double click to close, and you can come here to display elevation profile. So this is pretty neat. So watch, I'm gonna go ahead and close this, make this smaller. Click, has my elevation profile tool on. So watch as I go across to get the elevation and slope. There's a blue dot that goes across my line. And you'll see what we're looking at is the high resolution DSM and DEM. So that means that in this area in February, we flew with our HC2 camera. So we have HC1 and HC2, Hypercamera 1, Hypercamera 2. And as you'll learn, we're coming up with Hypercamera 3 here really soon. So HC1 flies vertical only. HC2 flies vertical and oblique. Once we finish flying and processing the data, we begin processing our derived products. 3D is a derived product from obliques, so that HC2 flight. So when you're using the elevation profile tool, you want to be sure to be looking at the right time frame. You may have to change the time frame using a timeline to make sure you've got an HC2 flight. All right, let's take a look at the marker tool. So you can come up here and click marker from up here, or you can right click add marker. When you add a marker, you can see the address, and right below that is add to watch list. This is a great way to get a notification once we finish flying, processing, and publishing the imagery to the cloud. Then the imagery will be viewable through MapBrowser and will automatically stream through your integrations such as WMS and Esri Marketplace items. Our derived products, AI and 3D, will begin processing after the imagery data is published to MapBrowser. Offline delivery timelines are generally up to 60 days from survey published date for 2D, 3D, and AI. You can check out our coverage going to our Nearmap website and clicking on the coverage tab. You scroll down from there, you'll see vertical and oblique. Here's the vertical. This shows you how many times we fly, so up to 3 times a year, depending on population. You can search for your area in here and click to see how many total captures. 1 oblique capture per year here, and a total of 3. That means we fly our HC1 camera 2 times a year. HC1 Hypercamera 1 is vertical only. We fly oblique captures, that's our HC2 Hypercamera 2. That camera system flies vertical and oblique. We fly that once per year. As I talked about earlier with the elevation profile tool, that data is from our 3D. 3D is derived from our obliques. Think about that when you're looking for the elevation profile information. You want to see when we've flown our HC2 camera and when the 3D has processed. That's when you'll get the updated high resolution elevation profile information. Okay, back to MapBrowser. Let's take a look at the base map picker. We've been looking at vertical. If you have Nearmap Oblique, you can also view Panorama and Oblique. If you have Nearmap 3D, you can view 3D and True Ortho. True Ortho is one of the 3D products. We'll dive into these soon. First, I want to show you the compass tools. So what you can do is you can click to drag to rotate. Or you can click once in the middle to bring you back to facing north. There's also a rotate map 90-degree option right here. And you'll see the URL updates as well. So facing 90, 180, and so on, back to north. You can choose the imagery dates here. It's now separated by years and months, which is really handy. And right next to that is our good old split view time slider where you can see different time frames and watch construction project, for example. All right, let's take a look and dive into projects. So when you first log into MapBrowser, you're in the workspace and you can see your feature layers here. But if you wanted to create different projects, you can do that as well. Come over here on the left and click on projects. You can create a new project and you can rename it, duplicate it, add labels, The labels are great because then you can search right here. If you have a whole bunch of them, but you want to find your construction one, just search by that label. We're really excited about this. This is called Geodata Link. This is a new feature tool that you can add to MapBrowser. It allows you to bring data into MapBrowser via an Esri REST endpoint. So Dakota County has brought in their parcel information. Let's click on a parcel and see what they put in here. This is the data from their Esri REST endpoint. Anytime it's updated, it gets updated right into MapBrowser. They've chosen to have their tax pin searchable. So if I were somewhere else within the county and I searched that tax pin, it would pop up and jump right to that property.
Let's take a look at the panorama and oblique. If you have a Nearmap subscription with obliques, you have access to panorama and oblique. The panorama is all of our obliques stitched together. That means you can pan through and find the area you want to be looking at, take a look at that property, and you can adjust using the rotate map 90 degree that's above the compass here on the right. You can't drag the compass in panorama, but you can rotate 90 degrees or choose a cardinal direction. So watch up here in the URL. Right now we're at 0 degrees pointing north. If I rotate, now I'm looking at 90 degree, 180, 270, and then back to 0 degrees. And then after you've zoomed around in the panorama, you've got yourself oriented, you're looking the way that you want to be looking, you can come over here and choose obliques. Now, whereas the panorama is all of the obliques stitched together, when you're looking at the obliques, you have a view of all of the source tile imagery here on the left. So you can choose a different image if you'd like to. And now, the height and width measuring tools are available to you, whereas in panorama, they're grayed out. Wouldn't be as accurate. So we provide those tools here when you're looking at the obliques. Double click to close, just like creating features in the vertical. Just like creating features in the vertical, double click to close.
Now let's take a quick look at AI. We just came out with our Generation 5 AI, and you'll have a lot more information in this Navigate on AI. But I wanted to just quickly show you in MapBrowser that it'll show up here under your data layers. And depending on what AI layers you have access to, you'll be able to collapse and expand them like I'm doing here, and then select them to view. When you're viewing in MapBrowser, you're looking at the raster. You can order AI offline and get vector if you'd like as well. There's more information on each of the layers in our Knowledge Hub. And in MapBrowser, you can come in and select on the layers. You can change the color if you'd like to do that in here so you can see each of them. You can come in here and make the background darker to really make the AI pop and play around with the different settings. All right, there are a few layers of AI right there for you. Remember, you can always go to Knowledge Hub to learn more about our AI. You can find out more about the packs, discover what's included and what's excluded in the layer, and so much more. Now let's jump over to San Diego and take a look at Nearmap 3D. The 3D base map shows a reconstruction of the world, which we can pan and zoom seamlessly right here in MapBrowser. You can use the Alt key on a PC or Option key on a Mac, or you can right-click on your mouse and drag. You can use the compass tool to drag as well to change your view. You can use the line tool to get a relative height of a feature. You'll notice when you click on the line tool and then you bring your mouse over to a building, for example, the vertical side of the building, the little disc is vertical, and as you go up the building to the top, now I'm on the top on a horizontal surface, and the disc is identifying that. Let's get a relative height of this building. I'm going to click, find the ground, double click, and you have a relative height, 241 feet. In addition to rotating the compass, you can choose the rotate map 90 degrees, just like in Panorama. You can come over here and change the date. And then another 3D product is our True Ortho. I'll zoom out a bit so you can see the True Ortho. The True Ortho is really great for tall buildings because it accounts for building lean and you can really see alongside the buildings. If you have 3D export, you can come over here to export, choose 3D, choose your capture, change your projection, and choose up to 4 content types. We were looking at the textured mesh, and now we looked at the True Ortho. You can also select DSM, DEM, point cloud as well. For textured mesh, you have lots of different formats to choose from. And we recommend you choose as many as you can for an export, if you have 3D export, because each time it will count against your 3D export bucket. You want to make sure you pull everything that you can during that export. If you're not sure what format to choose, you can always reference our Knowledge Hub, learn more about the 3D products, and if you have 3D export, you can learn more about the different format options, as well as how to measure and viewing 3D content, all here in the Knowledge Hub. Below export is your downloads, and you can take a look at what 3D exports are ready. Below that, check out the help and support button. It gives you a quick link to the Knowledge Hub, which is all things Nearmap. Keyboard shortcuts. You can contact support. You can also contact support by writing to support@nearmap.com. That opens the ticket for you. Then there's the share feedback button. I can't tell you how excited our product managers get when they see feedback from customers. Please feel free to fill this out and let them know what you think. You'll be able to learn more on integrations on the WMS Deep Dive Holistic Approach to Nearmap APIs from my colleagues Mike Hayes and Jason Teese.
Hello, I'm Ryan Swanson. I want to take just about 5 minutes to talk a little bit about MapBrowser in regards to ImpactResponse, which is an extremely important aspect of what insurance carriers are looking for when they're dealing with claims for their customers and trying to expedite those claims and make sure that they take care of their customers. So what I wanted to do is just kind of build on what Jen already talked about, also what's been talked about in the MapBrowser basics, are things that we've done to improve the actual ImpactResponse piece of this. Now this will be available to those that have the ImpactResponse program. So not everyone will see this when they go into MapBrowser. This middle piece here down at the bottom, which is our what I call our vintages or our dates of our coverages for an area. I've got a fairly large swath here covered down in the Louisiana area. You'll notice that there are some specifically marked items here that are part of ImpactResponse events that have happened. And so we've got those captured here. We've got the tornado outbreak in the south central U.S. And then if we scroll down here, you'll notice a number of dates for various pieces of Hurricane Ida, which came through back in in September of 2021. So this is that kind of the controls here. Nothing's new, although now we clearly outline which vintages are specific to that postcat event that has happened. So if you were to click on any one of these areas on this date, you would see then an area of coverage for that specific date. And then if you picked on a different date, let's go to September 3rd, you'd see a totally different area right over here. So basically it outlines the area for you. As you zoom in, then you will be able to get the images that you're looking for. It's a real nice feature to see that and to be able to know what you're looking at as you're doing that. And also just in general, when you're looking through different dates, to know that these dates were post-cat. As you zoom in, some of the dates may not show up anymore. It depends on where they're at, but as I zoom in and in here, you'll notice that the tornado outbreak is no longer on there because it's not in this designated area that we're in. So that's one of the new features of MapBrowser that I really like. I love the date, I love the time, I love the mark telling us that this is an event. I want to just briefly take you over to a different location. This is Lake Charles, Louisiana, and this is an area that was hit twice over the course of about 2 weeks with 2 different hurricanes coming in there. So here you see a date of, let's go to the most current before the hurricane went through. You'll see a date of November 3rd. You can see the images here. You can see the structure. I don't know if that's a house. It could be a house. It looks like it maybe is a house. House here. And then if you were to go to after Hurricane Laura, you'll see how destructive that was and what it did to the area. If you were to go in and then look 2 weeks later, this group was very efficient and were already working on replacing the roof, and they were hit again with another hurricane. What an unfortunate thing. But this is the advantage that, or the new features around the recognizing that this is postcat information. Now you can look at November. After the postcat, you can see the house is being redone. It looks like they're working on the shingles. You can see the slats there. And now if we go to October 16th, you're able to see a completely rebuilt home, which is great for them. So that's the postcat. If I were to zoom out, this would also show you the area that was captured on certain dates. If I were to go back to a date of the hurricane, it would once again show you the area that was covered with the yellow line. So that's what I wanted to cover. I hope you enjoy the changes, the improvements that have been made. We've been hearing great things about it, and hope you enjoy this.
And that concludes the MapBrowser Master Session. I hope you have a wonderful Navigate. Thanks for stopping by. Take care.